by itself. I don't know why. Hope you all are there. Join the class. I will do a little more and I will stop. I hope you all are there, class. I'm sorry. I don't know why suddenly the video ended. Okay, great. Now see, project management knowledge draws on 10 areas. Okay, the first one is integration. Integration means, like I told you, project charter you are making. It is a document where everything is put together, right? Who is to do, what is to do. See, in principles and yeah, principles and practices of management, you see that you are putting together, like you're planning and then you're organizing. In organizing, you say who is to do what. In planning, you say when to do, what to do, how to do, etc. Who is to do what comes in organizing. Then there is delegation, there is direction, there is authority concept, accountability, responsibility, accountability, authority concept. All these concepts are there. So this is the stage where integration means putting all of it together into one document called the project charter. So the first knowledge area, this is very important. You will get it for usually 10 marks or you will get it as a case study. The 10 subsets or knowledge areas of project management. The first area is project integration management. I repeat, the first area is project integration management, where you put together everything. You put it in a document called the project charter, how to do, what to do, when to do, who is to do, what is the money, who is to be the finance manager, who is to be a project leader, who is to become the procurement manager, the engineer, the civil works, everything is put into one document, and it is called the project integration management. This is the first knowledge area of project management. Excuse me. The second is project scope management. See, as I go on in my next classes, each and everything of these sub areas I will explain with slides. Today I am only giving you introduction. I told you what is a project, then I told you what is project management, why is project management important, how are projects different from daily operations is what I have covered. Then I gave you 5 phases of project management, beginning from initiation, planning, implementation, and then we ended with closure. All right, reviewing was there, and we this thing with closure. And then now we are coming to 10 subsets, sub areas or knowledge areas. It means the same thing of project management. And the first one I told you is project integration management. The second one is project scope management. I have just explained to you. Now you can see me on the screen. See here, this is the screen that you can see me, right? It is a square. So when you say scope, I have explained before, I am explaining now, everything within this. Alright, nothing beyond. Anything beyond what my screen, you are not supposed to do. Why am I saying like this? See, in a project, you have to know what you have to do. Otherwise, you may not do something that you are supposed to do. And you may go outside what you are not supposed to do and do what you are not supposed to do. Outside the screen, you are not supposed to do. So, if there might be something outside that you are not supposed to do, you may do that, which is not your job. At the same time, you may not do everything inside which you are supposed to do. All right, which you are supposed to do. 1 minute. Yeah, great. I'm happy to see you all back, but half of them has not come. Never mind. It doesn't mean never mind. You have to come back and see. Please inform your classmates that they have to see the rest of the presentation. Alright, so the first one is project integration management. The second one is project scope management. I explained to you what is a scope. I said everything within a square, nothing beyond it. So project scope management, as I reiterate, is important because you're supposed to do everything within a square. You're not supposed to omit anything inside the square. At the same time, don't do anything outside the square. That is not your job. Alright, you may be interfering or you may be wasting your time doing someone else's job. At the same time, you should not waste your time and do everything within the circle. That's why what is the scope is very important. When you do a research, we always give the scope, geographic scope. I'm going to do it within Bangalore metropolitan area, or I'm going to do Bangalore, Tumkur, Kolar districts, Bangalore urban, Bangalore rural, Kolar, Tumkur districts, and Mysore district maybe. So we will always define the scope, geographical scope, where we will do the research. It is necessary to define the scope. So I repeat now, the first knowledge area I spoke about was project integration management. The second knowledge area is project scope management. The third important area, as all the areas are important equally, is project time management. See, punctuality is necessary and discipline is necessary in order to complete the project on time. Take a simple example. If you are supposed to work between 9 o'clock and 5 o'clock, the workers should be there at 9 o'clock. If 10 workers come at 10 o'clock, you have lost 10 hours of work. 1 hour of work at the rate of 10 people, you have lost 10 hours of work. Alright. See, in project management, there is one important concept called WBS. I repeat, WBS, work breakdown structures. Please note it down. It is called WBS, work breakdown structures. Effectively, generally, 1 WBS is equal to 40 working hours. I repeat, generally 1 WBS is equal to 40 working hours. Now, when you do time management, project time management, this is the third knowledge area that I am talking about. You have to say, I am going to work, say the project auditorium was going to take us 1 year. Okay, 1 year, how many working hours you are going to do? Now, in 1 year, there are 52 weeks. If you are not going to work on Sunday, 52 days you will lose. Out of 364 days, you have to minus 52 days. 52 Sundays. Is that clear? After that, in 1 day, how many hours will you work? Let us say we'll work 8 hours a day. Alright? We'll work 8 hours a day. So 1 WBS will be 8 into 5. 5 days 1 WBS you will cover. So suppose you do 364 minus 52. How much is that? 312. You have left with 312 plus 52. How much is it? 364. Yeah, you are left with 312 days. Okay? 312 days means divide by 5. How many work breakdown structures do you have? Suppose you say, I am laying the foundation for the auditorium. I require 60 days. So 60 days into 8, 480. If 1 WBS is 40 hours, 480 by 40. 12 WBS are required for laying the foundation. Am I clear? I repeat, 1 work breakdown structure, 1 WBS, if we say, which is generally they take as 40 working hours, 40. Suppose I want to lay the foundation and I require 60 days. I said 2 months. Okay, let us say 60 days we require. Forget the Sundays now. 60 working days you require. One day has 8 hours of work. So you require 60 days into 8, 480 working hours to lay the foundation of the auditorium. 480 divided by 40 is how many working hours? 40 working hours. Wait, 60, 480 by 40, do the math. Alright. So, we will say for foundation I require so many working hours. For raising the walls, for foundation I require 60 WBS. 48, 1, 2, 12 WBS, isn't it? 480 by 40, 12 WBS I require. Similarly, for raising the wall, I may require 3 months, 90 or 4 months, 120, 120 by 40, 30 WBS I require, or like this. You require how many WBS I require gives you the total time for the project. Sorry, my mind has 2-3 things now, so I may not do the math properly. You'll have to excuse me. Okay, I repeat, 1 WBS is 40 working hours. So we work out in terms of how many WBS for the foundation, how many WBS for raising the wall, how many WBS for the roof, how many WBS for the electricity, for the plumbing, how many WBS for the plumbing. Plumbing may require just 2 WBS, 80 working hours. Electricity lines may require 3 WBS, 3 working hours. Laying the tiles may require 2 WBS, 60 working hours. Alright, so we add up how many WBS, total how many WBS is equal to into 40, so many working hours, divide by 8 to get the number of working days, and then you add the total days you require for doing the auditorium. I repeat, we divide the work into WBS or work breakdown structures. One work breakdown structure will be 40 working hours. So we will say I require for laying the tiles 2 working hours, 2 WBS. For the plumbing 3 WBS, electricity 5 WBS, foundation 12 WBS, raising the walls say 15 WBS, putting the tile, roofing 10 WBS, alright, something painting etc. 5 WBS. So total WBS you add, alright, then into 40, because 1 WBS is 40 working hours, into 40 you will get total working hours. If in one day you are working for 8 hours, divide and get the number of days. So in total in project management, in the project time management, this is what you do. Yeah, the soft concept of time management is to keep the discipline and punctuality every day. Alright, then the fourth knowledge area is cost. As we all know what is budgeting, and there is something called escalation cost, there is contingencies. Okay, contingencies are kept at a certain percentage, escalation is kept at 5%, contingency is given generally at 13%, depending on the situation. Alright, so like this you have your budget, and when the budget may not be, the money may not be released all at the same time. So you have to show progress after so many WBS. See, time management is important. So many WBS you may get release some part of the money. Alright, so cost. Alright, next, the fifth one is quality. I'm going to teach you quality tools, quality concepts, etc. Maintaining quality is important. Reliability is one aspect of quality. There are various aspects of quality. When you say BMTC is good, quality wise it's excellent. If you say, how are you going to measure regularity of the bus, punctuality of the bus, courteousness of the staff, the cleanliness of the bus, all this totally makes the quality. So quality has various parameters for it. All right. So this is the fifth concept, project knowledge area. The fifth concept is quality. I will go back and I will tell you this, all the concepts that I've taught. The first one is project integration management. The second one is project scope management. The third one is project time management. Third one is time management. Fourth one is cost management, project cost management. The fifth one is quality management. The sixth one is procurement. Procurement is purchasing. Alright. The sixth one is project procurement managing. No, when you purchase, there are two things. See, always I tell you, in purchasing, you have to think of tomatoes and not having a fridge. You do not have a fridge and you're buying tomatoes to cook. So there are two things you want. How much and when will I buy the tomatoes? Because tomatoes can rot, they are perishables, isn't it? So the best thing to remember about stock, as a manager, you have two decisions to make. When to buy, how much to buy. Okay? I repeat, in stock management, there are two decisions. When to buy, how much to buy. You understand? For this to remember these, my trick is to remember that you have to buy tomatoes for cooking and you have no fridge. So you cannot buy too much because they'll rot and your money is waste. You cannot buy too little because you cannot stop your production, cannot stop your cooking, isn't it? That is one thing. So how much to buy and when to buy are two main decisions of stocking. So in this procurement is very important because you should not waste. Suppose you bought extra sand. Have you seen at places where they finish building and that sand is left on the road to waste? Sand is so expensive. They usually construction people carry the sand from one place to another construction site and they use it. But you have to assess how much sand you require, otherwise you're going to waste the sand. You may want to bring a little more, but not a whole lot more, so that it gets wasted for the rains or whatever. Alright? So the sixth point I've told you is project procurement management. Now come the soft concepts of project management. Okay? The seventh one is a soft concept. It is human resources management. You have done human resources, so I will not go into it. Project human resources management. Next is communications. It is important. Everything has to be documented. You have to document in the beginning, during, you have to communicate with people. You have to tell them what stage your project is in, how much work you have done, how much money you require, everything is necessary. And at the end also, after the project is finished, you have to document lessons learned. What are the difficulties you faced? How did you overcome it? And for the next project, what do you have to be aware of? These lessons learned are important for the people who do the next project. You have to document it. So all this comes in communication. Now, another very ninth point of project management is project risk management. Alright, you know how to mitigate risk. We have done risk management before, but we will do it again. Risk is measured in terms of probability. Will happen, there is uncertainty and there is risk. Uncertainty cannot be measured, but risk can be measured. That's why it can be mitigated and managed. Risk can be measured in terms of probability. And how do you get the probability? Probability is rather qualitative. It comes on expert opinions and calculations. I'll explain when we come to that. Okay? Project risk management. And finally, stakeholder management. You have to keep the stakeholders happy. You have to tell them what stage. See, always be truthful and transparent. The stakeholders are managed. Don't hide things. Yes, you could not finish at the given time. Why you did not finish? Be honest and tell and they will understand. Okay, people management is always difficult, and that too when the stakeholders are some people who are in status above you. They could be the management, they could, they are the management, they are the sponsors, so they have to be kept informed. So the last thing is stakeholder management. Okay, with this I will conclude my class for today. Yeah, thank you for coming back. I'm sorry, I don't know why this thing. Yes, 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 Vinny. I don't know why the video suddenly went off. In case in my later classes also, if the video does go off, please remember I'm coming back again immediately. Please log on again, like how you log on and off for some other software. No, I will come back and I'll complete my class. So this was what I had planned for today, because this subject is such that I cannot do too much. If I do too much, you will lose, I will not be able to catch your attention. So I hope I've done a good job today. Thank you, everyone. Let's smile. All my students, I want to see you happy, cheerful. Yeah, especially in these times of difficulty, we have to be cheerful. Things are much better than what it was in April, May. The things are much better. Let's hope that we will be able to be back. As you know that the directive, as I spoke about yesterday, has been given, and the standard operating procedures for class is also given. So the people are, yesterday one or two MBA colleges had sent me their standard operating procedures. Ma'am, is it okay? I'm not the authority to say whether it's okay, as long as it is in sync with the standard operating procedures issued by the university, Bangalore University, and the government of Karnataka. As long as it is in sync with that, it is perfectly fine. We have to be in sync with the standard operating procedures of the government of Karnataka. It is very necessary, because they are the people responsible for our health and safety and education also, of course. So this is it, and no, November 17th is the date given. We'll wait for the university. I should be able to get some directives from university today. I think yesterday one or two, I didn't have my glasses on, so I've not read whatever came in WhatsApp. If I see, I will get it. All right, but we will tell you in time. Okay, all the best, everybody. Thank you. Smile again. Bye bye. I'll see you tomorrow, sharp 10. Take care.